Yo, 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 what is up, my fallopian tubers? Cesario from the Barrio, coming back at you with another video for your butt. Squeeze those cheekies. Alright, and as you can see, I got the Mexican screen on screen, or whatever that thing is called, technology. But this is going to be a video response for Magnus. I think he's Yankees 42, which will be Mariano Rivera's kind of homage to. But he wanted a video response showing how you collect vintage, how do you collect junk wax era, and how do you collect modern. I collect all of those. So this is a fun video for me to make. And like I always tell people, man, if you don't have any ideas of videos to make or whatever, do a video response. Even if you don't know the person, just to keep making content, man. Just keep up with the card community. You know what I mean? We need you. So how I collect vintage. Basically all my vintage is I have 2 boxes of vintage. Alright, and so like I have a T206, I have the Johnny Bench. I keep most of my vintage raw. Almost easily majority of my vintage is raw. Alright, I'm not too big on grading. And so look at this tops right here. This is the OG. So sometimes I like to say, like, once Topps stopped using this logo, it's like they became they came into the junk wax era. So I always consider this the last vintage, not this one, the 1980, the last vintage set. So that's my definition. If you have a different definition, I know, like the MP Fox Boys, Mateo's what, like 12 years old. So to him, cards 10 years old are vintage. You know, so everybody has their own definition. I just like to know why. And I'll tell you why. Mine has to do with the logo. Yogi Berra. Another topic I could talk about is, I always think that's I mean, for me, like, a lot of people are into registries. I asked Ray from Chile to be in a thing with me so we could discuss registries. You know, like me, I always thought that's kind of unfair. Like, to me, this is a double. So let's say I have this in my binder for the set, and then I have this for my PC. I've always been, and that's just me. If you're not, no big deal. Like, if you're, I always thought that was kind of strange, where you could be in a registry and have one card, but that one card counts for like 40, 50 registries. You know what I mean? I always thought if you want to be entered a certain card, like this card, in 10 registries, you need to have 10 of them, and one each belongs to registry. But that's just me. Check out this Willie McCovey with the old trophy. Man, I sound like a jerk, don't I? But I don't hold it against you. Hey, I love it. I love the million ways there is to collect, man. You guys gotta understand that. Look at that old trophy, man. We got no writing, no nothing. Come a long way. And this card right here, Ray from Chile kind of inspired me to get this, because he introduced me to 300, you know, greatest baseball cards. And this is one of them, because it has 2 guys, the brothers, that really, this is their only card for both of them in the whole set. I think that's like the only time it's been done. Maybe it's been done before. Let me know after. But this is how I collect vintage. Mostly raw for the most part. Okay? And I just got, I don't know. I just love me some, and there's a couple of I have a Harry Simpson. Do you, or do you shave? But this is, for the most part, this is my vintage. Alright, how I collect vintage. I have 2 boxes. That's my first box, and this is my second box, where once I filled up that box, I started putting vintage in this box. Alright, and man, look at this card right here. Man, tell you how great the community is. This was a gift from John Mangini. You know, a gift. This was the #1 card I chased 2 years ago at the National. I said, this is the card I want at the National. I'm going to get it no matter what. You know, I said, man, if I don't get it, I'm going to give Snoop a BJ. But I don't think he saw that video, so I didn't have to go through with it. But then I got it from John Mangini. It was incredible, man. Incredible! I remember, like, going through and every time I walk past a table and I see a bunch of these cards, like, with this design, I run to it but they were all almost always Pete Rose cards. You know, here's a Mickey. Actually, I need to put this in my Mickey Mantle PC box. Ted Williams, but like I said, I buy my cards raw. Majority of them are raw. That's what I like about vintage. All right, but I do have some vintage in PSA. Let me just show you, because this is my PSA box. Not PSA, my slab box. All my slabs, no matter whether it's PIG, all brands are in here. You know what I mean, Jelly Bean? I don't care about grades or, you know, slab companies and stuff. I just want the card. But sometimes you can find a great deal for a card in a slab. But I just wanted to show you guys my other Mickey Mantles I have in the slabs here, because Mickey Mantle is my main PC. So the way let me just tell you how I put my slabs. I go by company, and then I go by grade. So 1, you know, 1.5, 3. So when I get to like the same numbers, like a 3 right here, and then I go by alphabetical order of the card maker. So Bowman will go first before the tops, simply because it's B then T. You know what I mean? So then and then they go by year. You know, so they go by year and by brand. All right, so I do have some Mickey Mantles and slabs, and really the only reason I have some Mickey Mantles and slabs is because I only buy cards in person, so it's not every day I run into Mickey Mantles. Let me just here's my Mickey Mantle PC right here. This is my whole Mickey Mantle PC. Besides those slabs, are in here. You know. So you know, I got these. I'm trying to do the base run. This card has a funny story with it, but my entire Mickey Mantle PC is in here, and this is a card I picked up at the last National. Because what I'm trying to put together is the base. Oh, look at whammy, 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 whammy. And Elo the goat Jimenez gave me this card, but yeah, I'm trying to put together the whole base, common base top set of Mickey Mantle, my main PC. So there you go. And then as far as sets go that are vintage, all right, I have the 58, the 69, and I just completed 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80. So 1980 is the last set I consider to be vintage, because then they changed the logo, but that didn't work out very well, and then they changed it again to the logo they have now. But in 1980 they changed that style. In 1981 they changed that style, but I still consider 1980 to be the last vintage year. So I mean, it's up in, you know, whatever your definition is, man, it's cool, man. I just like to know why your definition is. And so I mean, at the same time, do I really consider Ricky Henderson a vintage rookie in this year? But I do consider that to be the last great rookie card. You know, where there's no other competition. He only has one rookie card, the Ricky Henderson from 1980. So there you go. So now let's talk about junk wax. Now, I mean, the junk wax era, that was my era. That's when I was collecting. That's when I was at my peak. You know what I mean? And the way I collected back then for my junk wax is I was mainly going after sets. And then I picked I had this list before of my top 10 favorite players, but every Saturday when I would watch This Week in Baseball, I would kind of change it up depending on the highlights. You know what I mean? So let's say Don Mattingly was my number one player this week, and then the next week after This Week in Baseball, and maybe he had a rough week and Wade Boggs is killing it, Wade Boggs would be my number one, you know, PC, you know, my number one player in the rankings out of my top 10. So every week I would rank players. I had this fucking, oh, sorry, I cussed. But I had this notebook, and it was just full of my rankings. I would rank all my players, my top 10 players every week, and I would play this baseball game, 9 innings every day in my backyard, and I had stats. Man, and I used to love these cards. There's a name for them. People nowadays, that they give them a name for the cards that people used to pretty much print out in the garages back in the days. But I love them, you know. And even these cards that right here, these cards I will cut out of the baseball card price guides. You know, so the price guides will have these cards, and I will cut them out. You know, but one of my friends, he told me, like, you can't do that. He said, you can't change your favorite player every week. You can't do that. You got to stick, you know. So then I made my top 3 players. I did my top 10, but I only focused on my top 3. So as you guys saw, look at this binder. Look how old this binder is. Look at it. Look how old this binder is. This is my childhood binder, people. All right. Look at these pages, man. Look at that front page. All right, and this one's like already all like it's ripped. But these are my childhood cards, man. My most valuable, you know, I don't know, not valuable, prized possession when I was a child, a kid, teenager. Oh man, I'm having a hard time. It opened up a little bit. Oh man, I feel like I gotta spit on it. All right, so I ended up going with Darryl Strawberry, Wade Boggs, and Don Mattingly as my top 3. So I just, you know, every card that I would see of them, I wanted it. Man, this is one of my favorite cards ever. Look at that, sweet, you know. So that's the way I collect it, and I love this card too. No borders. So that's how I collected as a kid. And obviously, so Wally Joyner was my number 4. You know, man, who didn't think Wally Joyner was going to be a great, you know, my favorite card of all time, ever, is Will Clark 87. So this is my top 10, Tony Gwynn. You can see all his rookies are missing. And that's something I always wonder, is like, I don't remember ever trading them, and for damn sure never sold them. Does somebody steal all my Tony Gwynn rookie cards? You know, my Donruss, Fleer, and Topps. Oh well, nothing I can do about it. I think I've replaced them all now, because now they're cheaper than when I was a kid. Just the way baseball cards is. You know, Kevin Mitchell. You know, his rookies are gone too. But Kevin Mitchell, man, at that time, dude was making barehanded catches, hitting home runs like crazy. Then I guess he got off the juice, and I don't know. But Kirby Puckett, one of my favorite players growing up. Eric Davis. Man, just sweet. I had a pretty big Eric Davis PC. Or Hershiser in 88, 89. He was the man. The man. You know? So, that's how I collected in the 80s. I had my top 10 players, but I really focused on my top 3 just because of money. And I mean, my parents never gave me money. I had a hustle. You know, I had a little bike business to make money, so I could buy baseball cards back then. So now let's I'll show you this over here. So you see this right here. This is my childhood cards. And you could tell most of my childhood cards because they're brown. Alright, I think they turned that way once I had them in storage, man, I almost want to say like 10 years. But when me and my wife first got together, I put them all in storage until we like got our own place, which took like 10 years. But yeah, so, and now let's get to how I collect junk wax. I mainly collect junk wax in like complete boxes. These are all rack packs. You know, here are the leaders cards. This is just a box that I brought all my cards back. Blue Jacket 66 had was having this box rip in 87 Fleer, and at the end I just took it home. I put a lot of my cards in here to carry with me on the plane that I picked up at the National. But I mainly buy now, collect junk wax in sets, in complete boxes, just to give you an idea of what I do with junk wax today. I guess I mainly buy complete boxes of junk wax. Man, I dropped a lot of stuff right now. All right, so now, oh, and then let's just say my binders. There's 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92. And one of the things that pushed me over the edge, that pissed me the hell off, was 93 not having a circle on the design. Okay? And let me explain to you. 83 has a circle on the design. I don't have 73 yet. I start off with 74. But 73 had a circle on the design. And if you guys remember, like let's say my 53 Mano, it has a circle on the design. So this is just me, man. When 93 came out and it didn't have a circle, after I had been telling everybody 93 is gonna have a circle, man. I know it is. They always do. All the threes have a circle, and they didn't. I kind of stopped collecting because of that, believe it or not, man. I was already pissed off with the steroids. You know what I mean? I said, man, I want to stop collecting because of steroids. But once that happened, that kind of prompted me to stop collecting because I was mad at Topps. But, so that's how I collect junk wax. Now, let's go to modern. Now, there might be a big gap with my idea of modern and other people's opinions of what modern is. I think it really depends on how long you've been collecting. But for me, modern is from like 94 and up. Why? Because that's when the parallels and shiny stuff and variations and, you know, stuff started. So with modern, it's like, that's one of the best things about modern is the shine. You know what I mean? Let me see if I could turn this light on right here. Get some shininess. But, I mean, look at that. Now with modern, it's like I'm chasing the shine. And that's not something I used to do before. I did not care about shine. I used to call shine cards the, what do they call them? The Elton John cards, you know? So anything, once you started getting like relics, you know, and shine together, to me that was modern. Because to me the junk wax era was overproduced cards that didn't have like this so shiny technology, relics, you know. In the 80s we weren't doing this like this Ken Girthy Jr. with the girthometer where you're supposed to stick your thing to find out how girthy you are. Alright? So to me that's modern. To me modern is like 94 and up pretty much. And so most of my modern cards are in PSA slabs just because most of them just come that way. You know, when people offer me a good card, it's usually already in a slab and I just buy it. You know what I mean, Jelly Bean? You understand, Rubber Band? So most of my modern really is in PSA slabs. Alright, so, and for the rest is like, and so when it comes to 90s and 2000s, most of the cards that I bought were from dollar boxes. Let me just give you a couple examples. So let's say when I went to the National, I got this one for $10 because it has a crease that I can't even see. But, and this is a custom card actually, one of a kind. But like at the National, I just went through dollar boxes and all these cards. I picked up literally like, man, I want to say I ended up spending so shiny like $400 in just the dollar cards, in the dollar boxes. And I mainly picked up Griffey and I picked up some Jeters. Hopefully this voice isn't too delayed. Delayed. I mean, so I rummaged through dollar boxes most of my time at the National. And these were all $1. So even cards that say $2 or $3, they were all $1. Even the shiny ones. You know what I mean? So, man, that's how mainly I was collecting these, at least 90s and 2000s modern cards, is dollar boxes. That was really the main way I got modern cards. And I had stopped collecting sets and I started back up in 2015. So this is the first card set. I got back into collecting in 2004. Okay? Think about that. Into 2004. So for 2004 until 2015, all I really cared about was vintage. I put most of my money in vintage. And then by 2015, through Instagram, people convinced me to start collecting sets again. And so, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and I'm hoping to complete 21. And then the rest of these are just doubles. These are all these sets are doubles. All right. So, and in the 80s, I completed all the Upper Deck, all the Score, all the Donruss, all the Fleer. Where is the Fleer at? Oh, the Fleer's way down here. I collected all the Fleer sets. So all my 80s sets are complete. Donruss, Fleer, and Topps. Score and Upper Deck. Alright? So there you go, man. That's how I collect. And then here are all my doubles from all the sets I try to put together. These are all my doubles. Alright, so there you go, man. I hope that was good enough. That's how I collect my baseball cards, from vintage to junk wax to modern. Alright, so love the hobby and just keep collecting baseball cards forever, I say. Ciao. What, are you not happy?